Okay, I'd like to call the regular city council meeting Monday, November 26th to order. Please, clerk, call the roll, please. Alderman Putoff. Here. Ferrari. Here. Waldorf. Here. Precocious. Here. Backy. Here. Sapienza. Payton. Here. Ballard. Mayor Harrell. Here. All rise to the Pledge of Allegiance. Okay, do we have any public comment on any agenda items? No, Your Honor. None? Okay, presentation. I'd like to take a couple minutes here for myself and some of the aldermen that we can recognize and express our appreciation to our city crews. It was a pretty bad storm that rolled through last night, yesterday afternoon and last night, and I'll start with our electric department. They worked all night long to keep us in power. You know, you see front page of the paper tonight with 1,000 people still out of power. And with the city of Peru, we have our own power company, our own electrical workers, and once again they're all out all night long. And what they refer to it as the lines were galloping, because you have rain turns, the temperature turns cold, and the rain forms on the lines, which makes ice, and then the wind kicks up to 50 plus miles an hour, and so they call it galloping. The wires jump up and down, they arc out amongst each other, but they did a very good job in working all night, you know, in tough, dangerous conditions. I'm not sure. I thought pretty much the whole crew was out. We had outages, and yes, they were basically out all night. I talked to well, when you see the front page of the paper, you know, 1,000 still without power, and then, you know, the blacktop just to the west of our town where all the stranded cars. And we have a pretty big area now. How many miles of road, Eric? Okay, so, and then you have to go both ways, you know, multiple times. We're out in the country now, Plank Road all the way up to what was Ladd Road. You know, we're out just like you see in the, you know, that was in the front page of the paper, and our guys maintained it. So, you know, then moving on to our public works department, we put 15 plows out on the street, basically. What kind of hours did they work yesterday, Jeff? So they had a long, good night's sleep and came back out at 4 o'clock. But they did a wonderful job as well. And then also all of our first responders, our police officers, our EMS that helped stranded motorists and, you know, emergency services, and everything went real well. I know Alderman Waldorf wanted to say a couple words because he rode with Chief King for a little while last night. Did you have a couple things you wanted to say?
Yeah, I was with Chief King for 3 or 4 hours, I think, 2 or 3 hours. Kind of all blended in together, you know. But it was chaos. I mean, the radios were, I kept saying, who's that? Who's this? Who's that? And you handled all of it in exemplary fashion, as did everybody. Everybody was very calm and got to their responsibilities as they came in. I know we stopped for a couple of stranded motorists, people had slid into the ditches, and it wasn't long before Chief Burnaby, your guys showed up. It just it was very chaotic, but very well done. And you know, you give your guys kudos, both of you, all of them.
So, you know, we've had a couple perfect storms here. We've had some complaints rolling in. This year's been quite a bit more than normal for the leaves. I don't know if the trees held on to the leaves longer than normal or what happened, but we've had quite a few leaf complaints. And, you know, the perfect storm was you had a snow, 2 weeks ago? So that shortened our time by 2 or 3 days that week, so it's pretty hard to play catch-up when you know, the whole town is raking their leaves. And then just this past week with the short week because of the holiday, Thursday and Friday, and, you know, we still have people that have leaves on the ground, but it's virtually impossible to pick up the leaves now that we have 4 to 6 inches of snow on top. And even if it warms up, I had a call today, even if it warms up for a couple days in the snow that we see melts, more than likely the piles are going to be wet and you're not going to be able to do it. So it's a tough situation. You know, you do the best you can to pick everything up, and the crews do a heck of a job at doing that. But we've once again, you've had a few people that are calling, and then also apparently a few people become anxious and they started burning leaves, so then the calls started to come in on the leaves that are burning. So, you know, our ordinance reads you can't burn leaves if they're wet 48 hours after rain, but now with the snow that's on them and the cold and then the thaw just for a few hours during the day, they're always going to be wet. So you shouldn't be burning your leaves now, you know, even if the snow does melt, if we have a couple warm days, but the likelihood of leaf machines being back out is pretty slim, I would say. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah. It's unfortunate. I mean, if we get an opportunity where the snow doesn't melt for the end of the week and we can try it, we'll definitely try it. But last week when we tried doing that, we plugged one machine so bad we got it up and we had to tear it all apart just to get it unplugged.
Now, that was because of the snow, right? So are you assuming then that the same effect will we have with just soggy, wet leaves?
That's basically
Yeah.
You're correct. You're correct. There's a time.
I mean, they can still bag them and put them out, you know, but,
Actually, this is today was the last day, and that service is delayed. So those that have yard waste bags out tomorrow, they'll be picked up. But nobody's going back out and picking up their snow-covered leaves and putting them in yard waste bags at this point.
tough spot to be in, you know, if we're not saying we're not gonna do it, we'll try it, you know, I'm gonna give it 100% effort to try it, but, I don't think the outcome's gonna be very well.
But when we were out, when the weather was cooperating, you had six people dedicated to, you know, you had 2 units running with 3 people per unit, so you had 6 people out of our crew that's only 13. And then, you know, with vacations and whatnot, and personal days and sick days, normally your crew is...
A lot of days that's down to 6 guys working just other jobs, and that was it.
Right, so...
We've averaged a water break a day for the last 2 weeks almost, so.
Right, and then to cap off, with the weather changing, the water breaks always start again, and then to cap off yesterday and last night's snow and all the hours they worked, we had another water main break first thing this morning, and that was after a large break at 4th and Church, and then right after that, there's been quite a few things. There was 2 more over the weekend?
Yeah, we had one down on.
Right, and then the one today was on 24th and Plum, so. Okay, but the complaints were coming in, and you do the best you can, and we didn't do anything any different this year than we've done in the past years. It's just everything hit wrong, so. But we're working on it. So, do I have a motion to receive the minutes and place on file?
So moved.
Mr. Webb. Have a motion, a second, any discussion? All in favor, signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carried. Do I have a motion to receive the financial reports and place on file?
So moved, Your Honor.
Second, Your Honor.
Have a motion, a second, to receive the financial reports and place on file. Is there any discussion?
Your Honor, I wanted to point out to the City Council the August sales tax is up $47,000. higher than last year of 2017. Year-to-date, the city sales tax is up $477,000 as of August year-to-date. And we talk about the shopping time of the year, and I want to tell you how important it is when you're looking at your small community, particularly the city of Peru, to shop local retail, because really that pays. It's the lifeblood of our city. It pays for our police protection. It pays for all of our city services and all of the things that we as residents enjoy. So that's how important it is. If residents have a choice between shopping in Peru and some online, again, think about what benefits you have and how important it is to spend your dollars locally.
Aye. All opposed? Motion carried. Do we have a motion to receive the activity reports and place on file?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. I do want to say one thing. Thank you to the residents of Peru. When the Code Red went out, just tell you to cooperate as much as possible to move your cars off of the streets. Most cars were moved from everything I saw today. Naturally there's going to be some, but it gave our crews much easier path to clear out the roads with the cars that were gone. And then once they go through, it's done. So you're not going back again and again. So.
You guys did, at 3:30 we had a meeting, and 2 or 3 of them actually said that Code Red is the best thing that's ever happened. So we've never seen so many cars off the street.
Yeah, it was. You could look down the street and not see a car for a long way. And
Your car is at my daughter's.
right, and then it makes a mess, and then you have unhappy campers out there when you go through a second time, because then you plug driveways back up. So if everybody would do the best possible to bring their cars off the streets wherever possible, it just works so much better. Cooperation just so much better. So we move on to committees. Finance, Safety Services, Chairman Petoff. Jim.
Yes, Your Honor. First thing on the agenda for finance is disbursements. Total disbursements for November 28th, 2018, as presented, are $2,343,274.26, and move this report be received and placed on file with bills paid in the usual manner. I'll second that.
Have a motion and a second to receive disbursements, place on file, and pay the bills in the usual manner. Is there any discussion? Okay, we'll have a roll call. Clerk call the roll, please.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari. Aye. Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Sapienza.
Aye.
Payton.
Aye.
Ballard.
Aye.
Motion approved.
Next, Your Honor, I have a motion to approve reinvestment of electrical funds of $350,000 in a certificate of deposit at the rates of 3.15% and 3.25% for 36 months. What typically happens on this is our treasurer and finance officers price out these various investments and then report it to the city council for advisement. So there is a motion for that?
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the reinvestment of electric funds, $350,000 for 36 months. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call. Please call the roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari. Aye. Waldorf.
Aye.
Lukosius.
Aye.
Radke.
Aye.
Sapienza.
Aye.
Payton.
Aye.
Ballard.
Aye.
Motion approved.
You want me to read the next one?
Please read the motion for the key
So
benefits.
this is for the health insurance renewal, a motion to contract with key benefit administrators for self-funded health insurance with a total maximum funding of $1,493,429.28, and to add terminal liability to the policy in an amount not to exceed $43,200. We can do that as one motion for the KBA and then one motion for the terminal liability. So let's do 2 motions on that.
Okay, again, please read the terminal liability motion.
The add terminal liability to the KBA self-funded health insurance with an amount not to exceed $43,200.
Okay. I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, a second. Now, did you just, was this the way it's written, or did you make the changes?
I made the changes.
Okay.
We've added that to the, as a part of the action for the renewal, Your Honor.
Okay, is there any discussion after we just talked about it for 70 minutes? Okay, we'll have a roll call vote. Call the roll, please.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari. Aye. Waldorf. Lukosius. Radke. Sapienza. Payton. Ballard.
Motion approved.
Your Honor, we also have a motion tonight to approve a Christmas bonus for city employees, and that's $50 for full-time and $25 for part-time.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second for a Christmas bonus for city employees, $50 full-time, $25 part-time. Is there any discussion? Have a roll call, quick call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf. Lukosius. Radke. Sapienza. Payton. Ballard.
Motion approved.
Your Honor, that's all I have in finance and safety services tonight.
Okay, thank you. We'll move.
Was there two motions on the health insurance?
We can take it either way, I mean.
Well, that's why I was asking, was that in full with corrections
I
made?
mean, I would prefer we have a separate motion on the KBA and a separate motion on the terminal, but
I'll make that.
let's do a motion on the KBA.
Well, we just did the motion on the
The
KBA.
motion on the terminal liability first. We're gonna do the motion on the KBA next.
Okay, I have Alderman Putoff, Alderman Radke with an 8-0 vote on the terminal liability. Okay, so we need a motion, a second now for the KBA.
Peyton made a motion.
For the, going with contract with key benefit administrators. $1,493,429.28. I'll second that one.
Okay, we have a motion, a second. Is there any discussion about that? And that was the changes made from the different options that we were explained, like I said, in our 70-minute briefing here. Okay, we have a motion, a second. There's no discussion. We'll have a roll call, quick call roll.
Alderman Putoff.
Aye.
Ferrari.
Aye.
Waldorf. Lukosius. Radke. Sapienza. Payton. Ballard.
Motion approved. Okay, Public Services, Chairman Waldorf.
Your Honor, Public Services has no report at this time.
Other than Wednesday night at,
Wednesday night from 5:30 to 7:30 in the community room, we will be hosting our public outreach meeting for the widening of North Peoria Street. And that's an informal meeting. We'll have some documents available for the public to view. Myself, design engineer Jim Kleinert, and Jeff Shaw from Federal Highway will be in attendance to ask questions on an individual basis. The public,
That was the realignment, right?
yes, that's correct, yeah, it's the realignment and widening of North Peoria. And then residents will also have an opportunity to submit questions via a handout if they don't feel comfortable asking their questions in a public setting.
so that's Wednesday, 28 November, 5:30 till 7:30 in City Hall. Okay,
Thanks, sir.
anything else?
That's all.
Okay, we'll move reports from city attorneys unless something came in. I don't see anything.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Proclamations, we don't have any. Unfinished business? Anybody unfinished business? I'd like to well, we'll go into the next one. So no unfinished, the new business. I'd like to thank Alderman Sapienza with him and his elves that put the decorations up today out in the great hallway, I guess we'd call it, and the decorations up here. Thank you, Alderman Sapienza, for putting us in the Christmas spirit.
Well, I would like to thank my elves. I would also like to compliment Alderman Lukosius and the mayor and myself for having such good taste in elves. They were very helpful.
Do you sell poinsettias?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
There was
300 of them out in the lobby.
Yeah, I know, it needs to be watered later today, we've got some people taking care of that.
Okay. Because we have Santa showing up in City Hall at what time on Saturday? Right after the parade or before the parade? After the parade?
From the parade, which starts at 12:30 by the library, and around 1 o'clock, he'll be coming to City Hall and be passing out treats to the children here. You'll notice all the ornaments on the tree. Once again, they're all made by children from Northview, and the ones from Peru Catholic, who will be put on tomorrow. And we will also have the tree lighting ceremony at about 1 o'clock on Saturday.
And the parade route is,
The way I understand it, up West Street, across, I'm gonna hold back. I'm gonna hold back, I'm not sure if it comes across Fifth Street or Fourth.
but it starts at the Peru Library.
Route 6, West Street.
Library south on West to the police station, and then down to here,
On 4th Street,
Route 6.
Or Fifth.
on Route 6,
Route 6.
7 o'clock starts. Oh,
Are you saying differently?
No,
Yeah, okay.
oh,
Yeah, it's Route 6. Yes.
yes, sir. And then also, we have the Pearl Harbor Parade,
Pearl Harbor,
and that's Saturday morning. That steps off at 11 from the Peru Rescue Station and ends at the Peru South Shore Boat Club. Yes.
And then Santa flies in Sunday.
Santa flies on Sunday, and then there's also the
that'll be at the...
firehouse.
And then
Santa's gonna be everywhere.
with Santa on Sunday from 8 to 1.
Good thing he's so magic.
Okay, petitions, communications, none?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Anybody public comment? Anybody with any public comment? No public comment? No closed session, motion to adjourn. So moved.
Second.
Second. Have a motion and a second to adjourn, all in favor? Meeting adjourned.